All right, a lot of you guys are asking fantastic questions around COVID-19. I know these keep evolving, so let's bring in Dr. David Winter from Baylor Scott and White Health. Good to have you with us again, Dr. Winter. All right, I put the call out on Instagram, and I've gotten some great questions. One, if you get treated for COVID-19, can you get reinfected again?
We've been studying that question for a while now, Sonia. We don't think so. We think that once you have it and it's gone, now some people have it for a longer period of time, but once you have it and it's gone, it doesn't come back. There may be rare exceptions to that. We're still learning about this virus. But yes, if you've had it once, we think that you're probably protected at least for a while.
Okay. Second question, can the virus spread through AC?
Through a what?
Air conditioning. What do we know about that?
Oh, air conditioning. Well, you know, the virus can be airborne and it can travel. We first said 6 feet, sometimes with exception go longer than that. Can it go through an air conditioner? I wouldn't think so. Moving in air is probably good, but I wouldn't want to be next to somebody who had the virus next to the air conditioner and that virus went from that person to the air conditioner. So I guess possibly, but for the most part, air conditioners should be safe.
So this comes to, the wearing of the masks, which leads me to the next question from someone who says, if people still wear a mask and they have a cough, can it still go through the mask? How concerned should we be about that?
The idea is that that's an important point to make, because the idea is that the mask is more important for the person who has the virus than for one who doesn't have it. Because if you cough, that mask is going to contain most of that. It certainly won't go very far from that mask. So the mask is very important for people who have the virus. They should wear it wherever they go. But the rest of us also could get some protection by wearing one just to prevent it getting to us.
And what about the sun, the heat, summer months, people saying, hey, this might actually help to kill off the virus? Your assessment of that?
Well, we hope so. The coronavirus is like a cold virus, and those usually die out in the summertime. The concern is this is a different virus. It's much more aggressive, much more contagious, and it's spread around the world, including areas in the world where it's hot and humid. So we don't know the answer to that question yet. We're all crossing our fingers. Maybe it'll calm down some this summertime, but that's a total unknown, Sonia.
Yeah, and Steve had a question sort of, to piggyback onto that. What is the likelihood that COVID-19 makes a resurgence along with the flu in the wintertime or next season? And what defense will we have, if any, at that point?
The big problem with this virus, Sonia, is that it's highly contagious, and if you haven't gotten it, then you are very susceptible. So if you look at a community where most people got it, then they're not likely to have it come back in that community again. But in a community where it's never been there, or a very small number of people, yes, we're all going to be susceptible. This virus is going to continue to survive as long as it can spread from one person to the next to the next. Our bodies have a 99% chance of killing the virus. But while you have it, it's spreading to 2, 3, or 4 people around you. So I think it's a good chance it's going to come back, or going to come back in waves. So we need to continue to socially distance, wear masks whenever we're outside, wash and disinfect our hands for a long, long time. This virus is going to be with us, I think, for a good period.
So this brings me back to the antibody questions and the numbers that we've seen coming out of, for instance, New York and California. What do you make of the fact that more people may have actually contracted this, whether or not they were asymptomatic, and now they're sort of discovering, hey, well, this may have been around for longer, and more people could have this, potential immunity right now?
Yeah, the estimates of how many people have it that didn't know it, those are the asymptomatic carriers, anywhere from 20% to 80%. On one of the cruise ships, when they tested people that came off with no symptoms, 80% of folks had the virus and didn't even know it. So we don't know what that number is going to be. I think it'll vary from place to place. I'm not surprised there are a lot of folks who've had it in New York City, may didn't know about that. Are they immune to it going forward? Well, we hope so. We think they probably are, if they had enough immunity, enough antibodies built up. How long do those last? We don't know. We'd love to think it's like the measles. Once you get the measles or get a measles vaccine as a kid, that's lifelong immunity. But cold viruses, we're not so sure about that. The flu, for example, every year it rechanges itself, mutates itself, we call it, and comes back. So we don't have answers to those questions right now, but we suspect a lot of folks have had it and didn't know that they had it, and that may give them some, at least partial immunity.
I could talk to you all day, Dr. Winter. We appreciate you as always, and hey, I'll email you some of the additional questions that we couldn't get to this segment. Thank you so much. All right.
Glad to do it, Sonia.